I've got 99 problems, and quitting drinking literally solved like 97 of them. Let's talk. So guys, welcome back for another episode today. Today we are going to talk about alcohol, and I kid you not when I say I had 99 problems and alcohol, quitting drinking alcohol literally got rid of 97 of them. Like honestly, probably 99 of them. Like literally, I want to talk about alcohol in this video. We do talk about sobriety a lot here on the channel, and I want to share my experience with the substance and how I kind of got to this weird place where I was having so many issues in my life. I kind of spiraled, guys. I spiraled to this very, very low place. This was a place where everything was going wrong. Everything felt wrong. So many things were just blowing up left and right in my life. And I couldn't quite figure out what was the one thing that needed to fix, because when I was going through all this, guys, I had no clarity. I had no perspective. My head, my thoughts, my emotions, nothing was clear. Everything was going wrong. And in those moments, guys, that's when I finally decided to think, is it alcohol? Is alcohol the reason for all of my issues? And I'm making this video for anybody else out there who may be going through a similar experience, because if you're anything like me, guys, you don't think alcohol as a culprit for bad things in your life. And honestly, I'm gonna share a little bit about myself, guys. When I was 19, I had my first beer, and it was awesome. Like, not to trigger any sober people out there, but I really, really enjoyed alcohol. Like, it was like it clicked, alcohol in my brain, the person I became when I would drink, the confidence, the dopamine, all of those feel-good emotions. And I drank and I partied and I had my fun in my 20s. But it got to this point, guys, to where alcohol was just like, honestly, like this amazing substance to me. And that was one of the reasons why it was so hard to quit, because I had so much fun drinking. And for a period of time, I enjoyed how I felt when I drank, and I enjoyed who I was when I drank. But that changed and that ended. And that's what I want to talk about here, because a lot of times drinking, or your drinking career, drinking alcohol, depending on the person, but a lot of us go through the same progression when it comes to drinking. It's fun and games at the start, and then it gets to this point where it's just becomes this substance that just no longer serves you. It's holding you back, and all the negatives and the downsides of alcohol, which are not publicly available to you. Nobody really talks about this. Alcohol companies aren't going to talk about this. Like modern society, movies, TVs don't talk about the negative side effects of alcohol. It comes to this point where you have to look in the mirror and just ask yourself, is this something I still really want to do? Is this holding me back from growing, from being a better person? And I'm going to shed a little light here on the situation. So, like I said, I started drinking when I was 19. By the end of my 20s, guys, I had got to this place where so many things were going wrong, guys. So many things were going wrong. Like, I was having incredibly bad anxiety. Like, there were times where I would just always feel like nervous, and I'd be so worried about shit, and panic attacks. There were moments where I felt like I was going to pass out. There were moments where I felt like I was actually having a heart attack. My anxiety would get so bad. Like, sometimes I'd be driving on the freeway, guys, and like, I kid you not, I'd be on the freeway and I'd be like driving, and then I would look up at the sky, and then I would freak out, and I would think I was going to fall up into the sky. Like, that's how bad my anxiety had gotten at one point in my life. And I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Where's all this anxiety coming from? And I just chalked it up to like, I guess I just have anxiety now. I guess it's just modern living. I guess it's just, I don't know, all the screen time or whatever you want to call it. And I never thought to think that alcohol was the culprit, because why would it be? My whole life, I enjoyed drinking. I loved drinking. I got the confidence I wanted from drinking. I was like social. It was fun. And in my 20s, my mid-20s, my early 20s, if you had shown me a video like this, I would not agree with it at all. I'd be like, no, alcohol is fun. Alcohol is always going to be around in my life. I'm going to get married. There's going to be champagne. I'm never going to quit drinking, because why would I? Alcohol is fun. I love the dopamine it gets. It feels good. But here I am now. And now I'm sharing my experience with you guys from a guy who used to love alcohol and who would never even look at the substance as a problem in his life, to the version of me now where I see it for what it is, and I had my time with it, and now I've moved on past that. But going back to my story, guys, I was having anxiety, and I would have this anxiety just like it would just shoot up at the most random times, guys, and it was crippling. Like, it got to the point to where, like, just my body was feeling off. And this was like towards the end of my 20s, guys, and I had no idea this was because of my drinking habits, because I thought I was just drinking normally like everybody else. I was a social drinker. If you asked me what my drinking habits were, it varied, guys. There was everything from, a couple drinks a week to the binge, the weekend parties with my friends, the 2 days drunk, to weeks without alcohol, or sometimes even a month without alcohol. And that's why it was so tricky to actually pinpoint alcohol as the issue of all of these things I'm going to talk about. Like, the anxiety is one thing, but there's way more stuff that was going on with me than just the anxiety. So I couldn't pin it down to alcohol being the cause of why I felt so shitty all the time. I only knew I felt so shitty all the time. And the only way I actually got clarity, guys, like when I quit drinking alcohol, I had no idea it would be like a relatively permanent thing for me. Until like 4 months, 5 months after I'd quit drinking, like I came out of this box, I came out of this haze, and I was able to look back and realize how alcohol, even just like drinking one night a week, was enough to affect my brain to where I was feeling anxiety, I was feeling insomnia, I was having mood swings, I was just never feeling good about myself. I was always feeling down in the gutter, because we think you drink and then you're hungover 1-2 days and then your brain's back to normal. But that's not the case for a lot of people. A lot of times that stuff lingers for days after the initial hangover. And I think that was the case for me, because my brain was really sensitive to alcohol. So back to the anxiety. I'm having this crippling anxiety, guys, and like I'm always paranoid that something's wrong with me. And I'm having all these weird pains in my body, like my side was hurting, my other side was hurting. I was having like those palpitations, the chest pain, panic attacks, the feeling like I'm going to fall into the sky. Just, it got so bad. I actually have checked into the ER twice for anxiety related reasons, because I was convinced something else was going on. Once it was because I had really bad insomnia. Like there was one time I didn't sleep for like 3 days straight, and I couldn't fall asleep, and it was miserable. I checked into the ER because I thought something was going on with me. Everything was fine. I was just like, well, what the hell? I guess my brain's messed up, whatever. And then there was another time where my stomach was hurting so bad, I was pretty sure my pancreas was inflamed or I had an ulcer or something. And then everything checked out and my labs were fine. So literally I checked in the ER twice because I just had anxiety. That's what I'm chalking it up to now, because we never found anything wrong with me. And there wasn't anything wrong with me. That's the crazy part. It was just my brain playing tricks with me. And the reason why my anxiety was so bad, guys, was because of alcohol. It was a rebound side effect of the alcohol that I personally experienced. And the worst part about it, guys, is that when I would get anxious or nervous, the answer for me was to drink. Oh, I'm feeling nervous about something. I'm anxious. Let me drink. Let me get that liquid courage. My anxiety is through the roof. Let me calm down. Let me desensitize myself. Even with the insomnia, guys, when I would have insomnia and I wouldn't be able to drink, I would take a couple shots. Let me take a couple shots. Let me try to downgrade my central nervous system, and let me try to pass out. And sometimes I would pass out, but fun fact, if you drink alcohol before bed, you don't get REM sleep, which is the quality restful sleep you need to be a thriving human being. So I was shooting myself in the foot. While I would actually pass out, I wasn't actually getting quality sleep, and as a result, none of my symptoms were getting better. I was having horrible anxiety. I told you I was having insomnia frequently. Like every few weeks, there would just be that random night where I couldn't sleep, or I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and couldn't fall back to sleep. And there was one time where I was up for like 3 days straight, and it was absolutely miserable experience because I was so damn tired, but I could not fall asleep. It's the worst feeling ever. I don't wish it on anybody. But that's just the tip of the iceberg, guys. There was insomnia. There was anxiety. I haven't even talked to you guys about the depression and like my mental state back then. Like, guys, I was all over the place. Like, it's like I couldn't stay happy for more than 17 seconds. Like, I was always like just sad and like no idea what I'm sad about. It's like not that there wasn't anything physically making me sad. I just felt sad. I felt depressed. I had no motivation to get out of bed a lot of the times. I was super depressed. There was many weeks where I would just fall victim to that like depression I was feeling, and I just lock myself in my room. I'd play Call of Duty, and I'd lock myself in my room with Call of Duty and a 6-pack, or Call of Duty and maybe some vodka, because alcohol was literally the only thing that made me feel a little bit better. Like, I'm not even joking, guys. Like, I was so apathetic and numb to a lot of things, a lot of emotions, a lot of experiences going on, that alcohol was the only thing that I could do that would relieve the symptoms. When I would drink alcohol, I'd feel a little less depressed for a little bit. My anxiety would go away for a little bit. And I would feel a little bit of joy for a little bit, that endorphin, the high. But in reality, it was keeping me stuck in a very bad negative cycle. And while I was in that low state, the last thing I thought about doing to help fix my mental and physical health was quitting drinking. Because like I said, I love booze. That was just my drug of choice. Booze could do no harm in my worldview. I didn't want to be receptive or let myself believe that this was actually the thing that was derailing me. And I tried everything else, guys. I tried getting to the gym more, working out more. I tried eating really clean. There was weeks where I was eating nothing but just really healthy food, sweet potato smoothies, chicken, broccoli, brown rice. My diet was immaculate except for the booze, because that's the one thing I didn't want to cut. I wanted to have my wine at night. I wanted to go out. I wanted to drink with my friends. I wanted to party. That was my one vice. I didn't drink any sodas, but alcohol was on the menu. But even eating healthy, even dragging my ass to the gym, while that did help a little bit, it wasn't enough to get rid of all of these issues that were just plaguing me. And finally, towards the end of my 20s, and here's the thing, guys, when alcohol becomes like your coping mechanism, and in the moment it seems like it's helping for all of your issues that you're wrestling with, why would you ever want to quit? Why would you want to stop drinking alcohol? Why would that even be the problem in your frame of mind? And that's how I felt. I did not want to believe that alcohol was the cause of my anxiety and my depression and just me not feeling that joy and me feeling deeply unfulfilled, guys. I was deeply unfulfilled and I was deeply unsatisfied with life, and I frequently felt like I was going nowhere. And it was so much easier to just go out, party with my friends, go out, have a few drinks, open up a six-pack, play Call of Duty. It was way easier to do that than to actually sit down, do the work, or figure out how to even start doing the work, starting a YouTube channel, trying to help the world in my own way, trying to build up financial abundance, trying to work on my mindset, being a more positive person, being more energetic, giving value to the world. All of this stuff was stuff I knew I wanted. And it's deep down inside of me, I knew I wanted to be a better man, and I knew I wanted to do more with my life, but I was stuck. I was stuck in this cycle. And I'll ask you again, why would you quit drinking when it's the only thing that feels like it was helping? Because it was. That's the slippery slope of alcohol, is that it feels like the only thing that's keeping you afloat, but in reality, it's the thing that is keeping you stuck, guys. And it was hard for me to come to terms with my relationship with alcohol. I think when I was 28, finally, after just being miserable for 6 months, I'm maybe it's the alcohol, because I've tried working out more. I've tried meditating. I've tried eating cleaner. I've tried honestly, you name it, I tried it. The only thing I didn't try was quitting the booze, because that's the last thing I didn't want to do that. Alcohol was fun. I enjoyed drinking with my friends. It was why do I want to quit the only thing that feels like the only thing that's keeping me in the game, that's keeping me happy? I was that kind of guy where I was the world can throw whatever the fuck it wants at me, but if I have a drink in my hand, I can handle it. I will be good. And I never thought to look maybe this is what's effing me up. This is the thing. Me and alcohol don't mix anymore. And then I came to this point, and I was 28, and I started to entertain the idea that maybe my drinking was a problem. Flash forward from ages 28 to 29, I kind of did that whole, I would stop drinking for a month. Things would get a little better, but not quite. And then I would go back to drinking with my friends, and then I'd slip back into the same ruts, the same patterns, the anxiety, the insomnia, the depression, the mood swings. It was getting annoying, guys. And the apathy, the no joy, the feeling deeply unfulfilled, the not making more of my life, the not pursuing for greater heights, just kind of living the same movie on repeat. And I did everything, guys. I probably, if I'm completely honest, I think I probably quit drinking, tried to quit / cut back on drinking at least 100 times until I actually quit and then realized like, wow, that was what I needed to do this whole time. So I didn't know cutting alcohol out of my life was 100% the right decision until I did it. And I got months down the line. That was almost like me climbing out of the box. Like while I was drinking alcohol, even if I would drink once a week, that was enough to keep me stuck in this weird haze. Like I can't describe it any better than that, because while I was drinking, it wasn't obvious to me that drinking was the problem or the cause of all my issues. It really wasn't. It wasn't. If anything, it was the only thing helping with all the issues that was going on. The insomnia, the anxiety, the depression, the mood swings, the lack of apathy or enjoyment for anything. But if I had a drink, I could unwind and have a little joy and hang out with my friends and have a little fun. But I hadn't realized that my brain had kind of just become accustomed to needing that dopamine spike just to feel these emotions, these normal emotions. So like I said, 28, starting to ask myself the question, 28 to 30, I'm kind of doing this number where, you name it, I tried it, guys. Like I'm going to take a break from drinking. I'm going to cut back on drinking. I'm going to only have like 2 drinks a night or 2 drinks when I go out, or I'm only going to drink on the weekend, or I'm only going to drink for special events or parties, or I'm going to like take 30 days of alcohol and go back to my usual habits. And well, it didn't work for me, guys. Like I was still wrestling with the same issues, still wondering like what the hell is going on. I was frequently just depressed and asking myself these deep questions. Like, is this life? Is there really not more to life than what I'm feeling right now? Is this really as good as life gets? Like, is this the person I am? And it was bad, dude. Like, not even just the mental stuff, but because my mental health was just all over the place and never really good, it was bleeding into other areas of my life, guys. My work life, I was calling into work. I was getting written up for calling in too much. I didn't go to work because I just didn't feel like showing up. My relationship at the time fell apart because the man I am when I drink just isn't a man of integrity, and it's not a man of character, and he's emotional and he's volatile, and me and drunk me are just on 2 different pages. Like I have a vision for my life and the man I want to be, and when I drink, that goes out the window. I just become some degenerate living in the moment, and I just go wherever the wind takes me. And I did not like that about myself. I really didn't. And God, it's so crazy, like thinking about it. Like one of these days I will do my actual sobriety story and tell you guys like in detail, like everything that was going on with me. But mine's kind of a weird one because it was like this weird blend of like, I'm drinking what people think is like socially acceptable or like normal. And like, it was so hard for me to like get out of that box. Like, wow, that's enough just to make me feel like shit all the damn time. So anyways, I'm 28, I'm 29. I'm trying literally everything. I'm finally more open to actually looking at alcohol. Like maybe this is a problem. So then I start watching sobriety videos, sober curious videos. I start learning about alcohol's effect on your mental health, about the negative side effects alcohol has on your body. And I started educating myself slowly. And then eventually after 2 years, enough was enough. I got to this point and I'm like, all right, we're going to give this a good, honest try, because, you know, I'd never been able to cut alcohol out of my life for more than 30 days up to that point. Like 30 days was always just that limit. When I got to 30 days, I felt pretty good about myself, and I'm just like, let's drink, let's celebrate. Because like I said, I never wanted to live a life without alcohol in it. But then, you know, enough was enough. I had to try something. Something had to give. And I had just been scrambling, trying to get like my emotions and my mental health under control, because I hated the inconsistencies in my character. I hated not being this rock. Like right now, I'm a rock. I'm solid. I know who I am all the damn time. Do I get sad? Sure. Do I feel emotions? Sure. But there's this deep, grounded essence within me that I didn't have when I was a regular drinker. Like, even if I'm depressed, I still know who I am. Even if I'm sad, I still know who I am. If I'm happy, I know who I am. I know my values. I know who I stand for. And I did not have any of that when I was a regular drinker. And that was terrifying. Terrifying. Like, who wants to live like that? Like, I didn't want to live like that. So anyways, I got to age 30. I finally quit. Cut it out. And when I had quit, guys, and this is a very important thing for anybody out there struggling with your drinking or debating quitting, I didn't know 100% that that was going to fix all my problems or my issues, but I didn't know what else to try because I had tried everything else. I had tried working out more. I had tried meditating. I had tried eating healthy. And while all that helped a little bit, it never got to the underlying problem. So I'm like, maybe it's a lifestyle change. So I quit drinking, guys. And for me, it was like 4 or 5 months. That is when I started almost coming out of this box and my worldview started changing. And I started to realize, like, oh my God, I feel so much better not drinking any alcohol. Way better. Guys, flash forward to right now. I've been a little over 2 years sober. Insomnia, gone. Anxiety, gone. Maybe I'll get a little anxious from time to time, but guys, nothing compared to how anxious or worried or nervous I used to get. My body, the pains in my side, the palpitations, the chest pains, the anxiety while driving, feeling like I'm going to fall up into the sky, all that's gone. All that's gone. The depression, I still get a little blue every now and then, but it doesn't last long. It's brief. It's very mild. I can go focus on me, go to the gym a couple of times, eat really clean, maybe fast for like 24 hours, and I snap out of it like easy. Like my mental state, I'm grounded. I'm secure with myself. I know who I am. And I'm at this point now to where I'm just like, wow, like why would I ever go back to drinking at this point? Like it doesn't make any logical sense to me. The high and the dopamine of one night out on the town with my friends and just getting loose and having fun is not enough to make me ever want to go back to how miserable I was feeling. Like, guys, like my mental health was such absolute dog shit. So when I tell you I quit drinking and I had 99 problems and quitting drinking solved like 97 of them, I'm not lying. I'm telling you legitimate truth. All these aches and pains, the anxiety, the insomnia, the depression, the ruined relationships, the acting out of character, the not living in alignment with my core values. Like I can keep going on and on and on. And also, like, you know, I wanted to get married. I wanted a wife. I still haven't found a wife yet. I still haven't found my quality partner yet. But I can tell you this, she's not out at the bar. The woman I marry is not out getting lit at the bar. It's not a bar girl. It's someone who's on the same page as me, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Someone who wants to grow with me. Someone who wants to be better, be good, give good back to the world. Just be a genuinely good person. And to me, guys, like, I hate to say it, but it's not me when I drink. Like, that's just something I've come to terms with, you know, like alcohol was fun. I had fun with it. It served its purpose. And I've gotten to this point where it's like, I've outgrown it. The substance no longer serves me. And if you're someone going through something similar, guys, it's okay. There's no judgment there. Everybody, most everybody will get to this point where they have outgrown alcohol. You don't got time to be hungover for 2 days anymore. You don't got time to ruin your whole next day just because you wanted to have fun for 3 hours. But, you know, that being said, I get it. I don't hate alcohol. I don't hate people who drink. You know, like it was fun for me until it wasn't fun anymore. And the hard part for everybody is getting to that point to where they're at that moment where it's like, you know what, alcohol, maybe this isn't the play for me anymore. And it's a scary place to be, especially if you were like me, where alcohol was just like that one consistent, like I could use it to cope with anything. Depression, sadness. If I wanted to have fun, if I wanted to go on a first date, if I wanted to be happy, that's where me and alcohol were at. And then, you know, we broke up and probably best decision I ever made, guys. Best freaking decision I ever made. So I think I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I hope this inspires some of you out there who are wrestling with your drinking or questioning your relationship to alcohol, because this was my story. This was part of my story, and it's very hard. Like when you're in the thick of it and when drinking's an issue for you, it's very hard to identify that as the issue or cause of all your issues because you're in the box. And until you stop drinking for an extended period of time, and like I said, for me, I started having that realization at like 4 or 5 months, but it's going to vary person to person. Once the more time that's gone by, the more obvious it is that alcohol was the issue all along. But even when I quit drinking, I had no idea it would be my last time drinking. I just thought I need to try something because I'm tired of feeling like shit. And lo and behold, happy. Core values. Doing stuff with my life. I hope this inspires you. Get out there, get after it. If you're struggling, I love you. Don't worry, keep quitting till you quit. And Comment down below if there's any topics you'd like me to discuss more in detail. Subscribe to the family if you made it to the end of this video, because why not? You're here anyways. And, the likes, comments, the usual business. Love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby, I have a taste.